So friends, Donald Trump is now suggesting that America's alleged crime problem could be solved if law enforcement would only engage in, quote, one really violent day, close quote. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, one thing is painfully clear. There is no bottom for Donald Trump. He's advocating mass violence. That's really the only policy position on which he has been consistent. Frankly, it's the only policy position he has, that the answer to all of America's alleged problems is violence. Let's start with the new reporting. This from The Guardian. Headline, Trump condemned for suggesting one really violent day to combat crime. And that article begins, Donald Trump has been accused of invoking plot lines similar to The Purge, a dystopian horror film in which officially sanctioned murder is occasionally legal, as a possible solution to crime in the U.S. after saying it could be eradicated in, quote, one really violent day, close quote. In what was seen as an extreme display of demagoguery, even by his standards, Trump drew cheers from an audience in Erie, Pennsylvania, with a picture of an out-of-control crime spree that he said could be ended immediately with one real tough, nasty day or one rough hour. Quote, you see these guys walking out with air conditioners, with refrigerators on their back. The craziest thing, Trump said, and the police aren't allowed to do their job. They're told, if you do anything, you're going to lose your pension. They're not allowed to do it because the liberal left won't let them do it. The liberal left wants to destroy them, and they want to destroy our country. In a passage that provoked a storm on social media, I only wish Donald Trump's incessantly violent rhetoric would provoke a response from the institutions of government, the prosecutors, and the courts. My editorial edition. In a passage that provoked a storm on social media, the former president and Republican nominee then said, if you had one day, like one real rough, nasty day with the drugstores as an example, where when they start walking out, Trump then trailed off in a digression to falsely accuse Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee, of introducing a practice in California when she was Attorney General that exonerated thieves from prosecution of items worth less than $950. Well, Politico said the remark appeared to be a reference to Proposition 47, which downgraded some offenses from felonies to misdemeanors and was signed into law by the state's former Republican governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, 4 years before Harris took office. But of course, Donald Trump would never let facts interfere with his determination to inspire violence. The article continues. Linking that issue to his theme, Trump continued, quote, you saw kids walk in with calculators. They didn't want to go over $950. They're standing with calculators, adding it up. These are smart people. They're not so stupid, but they have to be taught. Now, if you had one really violent day, one rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out, and it will end immediately. You know, friends, I'm an old rock and roll fan. Music from the late 60s into the 70s, yes, I'm a big Beatles guy, and there is one Beatles song that always pops into my head when I think about Donald Trump's, all-purpose solution to everything that he tells us ails America. Donald Trump's twisted perversion on the old Beatles song, "All You Need Is Love." No. As far as Donald Trump is concerned, all you need is violence. Donald Trump is the single most dangerous person to the community, to the American people. And he's a defendant on pretrial release in multiple criminal cases. And he's a defendant pending sentencing on release in yet another criminal case. And I've argued till I'm blue in the face. You know exactly where I'm going, friends, because you've heard me say it countless times before. The law provides that if somebody is on release in a felony case and they pose a danger to the community, they should be revoked on release and detained pending trial or pending sentencing. But I've pretty much given up hope that the institutions of government will apply the law as it was intended to be applied, as it would be applied to you, me, or anybody else in the country. They refuse to apply it to Donald Trump. So I'm going to shift my focus because the election is coming up and I don't expect prosecutors or courts to do anything about the danger Donald Trump poses to our country and her people. But maybe, just maybe, after he loses the election in a landslide, and he will, maybe the time will be right for the institutions of government, better late than never, to apply the rule of law to Donald Trump. He will no longer be a candidate for office. No reason for prosecutors or courts to be afraid to act and apply the law without fear or favor equally to Donald Trump. And maybe after he loses the election, we will see courts issue what are called show cause orders directing Donald Trump to show cause why he shouldn't be revoked on pretrial release or revoked pending sentencing and detained in his criminal cases. That is certainly what should happen, should have happened long ago. And I hope we don't have to wait for the second Donald Trump inspired and incited insurrection. We've seen that movie before. And I don't know how much more our nation can take. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.